Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. We're going to be talking about CounterStrike 2, Dune, Spice Wars, Poppy Playtime, and others. But first, my name is Christian.
My name is Bobby.
My name is Nick.
I'm Amanda.
And I'll be drinking beers tonight, so there's going to be a lot of pee breaks.
Oh, God.
There we go. Trying to get that sound.
Get ready to hear a lot of
Yeah, that's all I have, man. I don't have any booze. So, oh well.
It's a sad day in the Emilio household.
It's sad. I did fucking, what do you call officiate the wedding. I didn't fuck it up too bad, so it went pretty well. So, yeah.
What do you mean by too bad? Did you have to do a speech? Oh, no, you were just officiating, right? Okay.
I was officiating, yeah. It's kind of your ball to fuck up. Like, you start with an A, all you can do is fuck up. And then, like, if you knock it out of the park, nobody's, like, it's just what's expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never hear that wedding was well officiated. You know, that's not like
never.
Yeah, no one ever remembers the officiating person.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
I didn't fuck it up, so that was good.
Didn't fuck it up, RuPaul style. On the radar, these are games that have caught our attention, and Bobby's starting us off. What's going on?
Submachine Legacy. So somebody had posted this in Discord, and I can't remember who, but... Oh, was it you?
I sent it to you directly.
Yeah, but I thought somebody else posted it in Discord. Or maybe I found it on Steam because I was browsing through, as I usually do, the recently released. And this is probably the only game that caught my attention. Actually, there was a RoboCop game coming out, but we don't have that in our notes, so I'll stick with this one. But Submachine Legacy is a hand-drawn puzzle point-and-click adventure game. This is actually the second game. Well, I don't know, the second big game from a solo developer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he's a comic book artist and also a video game designer. So a very artistic individual.
Mateusz. That's how you say the first one. Sorry.
Mateusz Skutnik. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Sounds like a man. That dude only rides motorcycles.
Mateusz the motorcyclist.
But it's an interesting looking puzzle game. So because it's point and click, it's not like you're wandering around a map. But I guess the idea is that you have to fix and play with a bunch of machines in order to escape this underground area. And there's a story to it that's slowly revealed through notes that you find. So looks like it could be good. The game is out now. It's $25 on sale for $22.49. His other game was Slice of Sea, and that one had a very similar art style, obviously, but looks to be a little different. It's a puzzle game, but more of an adventure style game.
100% of 257 people liked this game.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
This guy doesn't give a shit about resolution. He's just like, I don't care if you bought an ultra wide monitor. Like, we're gonna cut basically you're looking at what do you call it? Like a sheet of paper, whatever. What is that resolution?
Yeah, but I
8 by 11
like
and a
that.
half.
But
Yeah,
dude,
no,
I
I'm
like
not
that. I
talking
think
shit.
that's great because
Yeah.
like it's kind of done in like somewhat of a retro pixelated style. It's like how the aesthetic looks. It also definitely reminds me of like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that kind of feeling. But it's very much like a submarine, right? Where if you were walking around in a submarine and you're that far deep, you're only going to see a small scope of light. Right. Maybe I'm looking too much in the meta of it. Maybe it has to do with the money and he couldn't afford making it ultra bright.
No, the submarine thing is good. The submarine thing is good. Yeah.
It's a DLG bump. Yeah. No, I think this looks cool.
Yeah. Good luck.
Well, I always appreciate when people hand draw something or go through the effort to make something unique. It says on the Steam page that nothing is procedurally generated. And I feel like that's becoming more of a crutch these days with video games. It's I don't know. It makes it sound like it's this big, vast universe because something's procedurally generated and things could be so different. But honestly, it doesn't make them any more interesting. It's like 100 million different types of things and none of them interesting. So,
Hey, it was a crutch for my wedding officiating. It was like done in 15 seconds, buddy.
Procedurally generated.
In 10 years, we're going to be doing this podcast and we're going to be like, it's going to be so cool. Oh, this game was human made. Oh my God, I can't believe this game was made by an actual human. We don't see that a lot anymore. It's all these computer generated, and they're going to be the best games ever.
So what I did was I told the computer to please make me like, so what I basically think that person is kind of like. So the guy was kind of like a bear, and the other guys, and the girl was like kind of like a gentle like hummingbird. So I said, what would it be? What would a script be between a bear and a hummingbird? And I got I got about 75% of the way there.
Wait, you Chat GPT'd your officiating?
Yeah.
God, you were terrible, dude. I've officiated a wedding.
God damn.
You're fucking terrible.
Hey, there was tears in the audience. That's all I gotta say.
It's not an important day.
How bad you were.
Hey, we're not. There's no time for bashing Emilio. We got to move on. Christian, what do you got?
I'm talking about Pioneers of Pagonia, which I put on the radar a long time ago. Not going to talk too much more about it, except for holy shit. I played this demo for 5 fucking hours on Steam Next Fest. And then I was like, okay, at what point, like, is this going to end? Like, it just kept me expanding and expanding. I was unlocking all these buildings. I saw the tech tree. Everything was clearly laid out. I was like, okay, I want to get there. And then I was like, I'm abusing this demo. You know, I'm like doing this demo doesn't end, I don't think. You know, they're going to be adding stuff after the demo to the full release, from what I gather from the Steam page. But the demo itself is huge. So if you're looking for like a deep logistical city builder that has kind of a more cutesy feel,
beautiful.
You can buy this. I think this one's probably an insta buy for me when it comes out, just because, you play a demo for 5 hours. I think
because you owe them.
Yeah,
I think you mentioned this before. Yeah, this art style is so cute.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Buy it. Gartic phone. Oh, sorry. Comments.
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, moving along then. Yeah, Gartic phone.
Sorry, Days.
It's all good.
We handed you the walking stick, but it was covered in poop. He's like,
you're like, ew.
It's
Ooh,
fine.
don't touch your face after touching this.
Okay. No, you handed me a shitty kind of phone, right? Like Gartic phone. No, it's not shitty. It's awesome. So this game is, you can play up to 50 different people. It's like Telestrations. It's on the browser, so it's free. So you just put in GarticPhone.com and you can play with a whole bunch of people. We played this at the DLGcon like meeting game night, but we only played a little bit, and so that's why I put it on the radar, because I want to play a lot more of this. There are a bunch of different modes which are cool. So they have ones that are like Telestrations, where you can just write whatever you want, because you make up whatever sentence you want, and then the next person has to draw it. And so it's always kind of wild. But one of the modes that I really liked was a storytelling one, and it's just all you have is the context from the previous sentence to complete a story, and that's it. So like somebody just starts off a story with a sentence. It could just be like, DLG is pretty cool. And then somebody reads that, and then like they just add one sentence at a time. So you end up with like a ridiculous shit, as you normally do with these kind of games. I don't know if you've got a party going on, and definitely I think at DLGcon we're going to be playing this, because this is a blast.
I have
Christian, you played it a bit, right? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. All my friends got together last weekend, and Taylor was like, we should all play Gartic phone on the Discord. And it was a hit, and he didn't even show up. He was like, let's play, and then he didn't show. He's like, I'm crawling under my house. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What?
Well, he showed up for the con meeting and game night, and so that was pretty great. He was leading that, and so we tried a few of them. They've got all kinds of ones though. They've got ones where you have to like fill in the missing piece, like they start the drawing and then you fill it in, and it's cool. I like that you can have 50 people playing. That is wild to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking people to play anything, dude, at the same time.
Dude, Telestrations After Dark with 50
how well this works on cell phone?
It worked
super
really well, yeah.
Oh, it did. Okay, great. Yeah,
Yep.
That'll be good then.
Yeah,
I think we're going. I mean, I'm bringing my desktop. I think that'll be the only one there. So, besides that, I think most people are going to have to be on their phone, or again, bring your Bluetooth controllers.
Yeah.
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 Thief Simulator
Moving along.
2. Not to be not to be confused with Thief Simulator 1, which we all remember, right? No, I had no idea what this was when I clicked on it. But funny enough, like it's kind of a big thing, stealing, and there's not a whole lot of fucking stealing games. There a lot of times they're part of a game, but yeah, there was Thief that was huge. And then yeah, you think about it, it's like a really cool mechanic. Usually it's part of like a stealth game, but this is a simulator, so you're crawling around burglaring houses and businesses and stuff, and you get your quests from dark web. That's also your fence. That's where you sell your things as well. And it's funny because you know, there's laptops, but then there's laptops. You can get it wasn't Apple, it was like Mac One or something like that. But obviously the Apple ones were worth more. So I saw the guy live streaming. He had to put down the shitty laptops and pick up the Mac ones because he got to the Mac room. And yeah, you have to watch your weight, how much stuff you're carrying, also just how many things you're carrying. Also, you're obviously, people are walking to the building, you're trying to avoid them. Also on the dark web, people are looking for specific things like a yellow toaster. Maybe it's procedurally generated. I'm not sure that part, but you know, if you see one, you're going to grab it if you remember that thing that somebody wanted. So there's a lot of things here that might be pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to be picking this up or anything, but I don't think there's enough thieving games that's the sole thing. Oh, you could get better items at, you know, better crowbars or whatever, flashlights, infrared, all that stuff.
This reminds me of another thief game called Wedding Officiator 2, where you go to a wedding, but you don't, you need to write your script. Maybe you forgot it. I don't know what happened. And you use like leading AI software to like generate you something that was inputted by thousands of other people. I don't know. It looks good.
Thief Simulator 2.
88% with 1,100 people. So not bad. 88%. How much is it? $20. $20. We'll give this a try. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what does not have an 88%. Something that has lower than that is Total War Pharoah. And unfortunately, I did not want to see this do this bad. It has a 60% right now on Steam. Unfortunately, it seems like Creative Assembly is not firing on all cylinders with their latest release. It's their latest Total War release after Total War Warhammer 3. They're pretty much cranking out a Total War every year now. This is set in Egypt during like the Bronze Age, essentially. There's 3 cultures and 8 leaders. That's it. Which, coming from a game that has like, you know, 26 factions. Well, of course, this is across 3 different games, but even just counting one of those games has 5 factions and 16 leaders. Big difference. The maps that people are complaining about, the maps are copy and pasted from Troy. The unit variation is very limited due to the fact that there's still no cavalry. It's the same kind of mechanics as in Troy as well, where there's heavy infantry, light infantry, and medium infantry.
Well, cavalry wasn't invented yet, Nick. Can't fault them.
They have camels.
In the
No,
videos,
chariots.
In the
chariots,
videos,
yeah.
I'm seeing chariots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that not count as a cavalry? I guess not.
Yeah, it counts as a flanking unit. But what people, I don't know. You have in the release schedule, right? You have Total War Troy, which is a Bronze Age game. You have Total War Warhammer, which is a fantasy game, and then you have Total War Pharoah, which is another Bronze Age game. When it comes to releases, you would expect either a line era game where you're having rifles, things like that, like in Napoleonic era, or you expect a medieval. This game, if you want to know what its peak All-time peak of players as of release, 5,424.
That's
You want to
fine.
know what?
Isn't it fine? What's wrong with
For
that?
something this big, dude, from Sega and Creative Assembly, I don't think.
But it's such a niche type. I mean, because of the setting and it's totally historical, isn't it like super niche to begin with? Your Warhammer players probably don't want this game. I'm guessing.
But how? Okay, guess the number for Warhammer then.
Oh, I don't know. 100,000. Got to be 50,000. Something huge.
Warhammer 3. It is
Right now?
168,000
Yeah.
On launch, right?
on launch.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't look very good either. I've looked at Total War games and I've been like, wow, how do they do that? And this one, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. 166,000. Sorry, 168. The other thing is like Troy, they gave away for free on Epic, so even the numbers for Troy are a little bit lower than this one. And I don't know. I think they just really kind of so the reviews and shit that I've read on Reddit kind of hit the nail on the head. This should have just been DLC for Troy. In all honesty,
Yeah, for sure. Actually,
it should have just been like a $40
right.
DLC, $30 or $40 DLC for Troy. Because, dude, resellers are having trouble selling this game for $38. The game is $60, but resellers are having trouble selling it for $39, $40.
Maybe they
it's
mispriced it, but I have a problem. I don't have a problem, but it was interesting scrolling through the reviews and seeing that a lot of people praising the mechanics and gameplay while leveling critique at like everything around it, like the price, but there was already a Bronze Age game, but this game is actually pretty good. Like the actual game is good, right?
But here's the thing. If you're not listening to your customers and the game is not doing well, does that mean the game is good? No.
If the game is is the game a fun game? I want to pick this up on a sale. I don't think I would pay this price for it, but if it's a good game, I mean, I'm gonna play it, right?
what setting would you guys be happy with next? Non-magic,
Non-magic, I would prefer Napoleonic. My dream situation is colonization of the United States, like Manifest Destiny era United States, and like in around the world. So like Western Europe
versus Native Americans. Is that what you mean?
Like Western Europe, Eastern United States level stuff, Mexico, Canada, like fur trade.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's cool.
So I'd still love to see a Civil War. I think there is a Civil War game out there, but I don't know if it's Total War.
Like
there's
the
tons
amount
of Civil War games. Yeah.
What Total War could do with the asset and like the assets and the workforce they have, they could do so much with that. But they're like, let's do another Bronze Age game that just flops. So I don't know. You have Amanda. What's your opinion on a game like this? I know you don't play strategy games like this, but obviously the disconnect might be here.
I don't know. I actually really like a lot of the Bronze Age stuff.
Yeah, Bronze Age in the house.
Yeah, because it's fun, I guess, with like the ancient, like I don't know, like just how much time is removed. It feels borderline fantasy while still being historic in a lot of ways, which I think is cool. So I don't know. I think it would be cool. I definitely would not want to see a Civil War or Project Manifest Destiny like era. I don't want to see either of those, but I don't know, like a crazy futuristic one could be fun.
That'd be good. Yeah,
they need to do something
like RoboCop, you know.
Yeah, or an alternate history. That would be cool. That would be fun, story wise.
The thing right now that people are like suspecting is 40K, of course, because there was a bunch of advertisements and a bunch of hiring openings for people to design vehicles for Total War, for specifically for a game that was supposed to release in 2026 and late 2025, and like for specific kinds of vehicles that like the game doesn't already have.
You
So
just had to shoehorn fucking 40K in there, man.
Yeah, how
I'm
did
just
you
saying,
get?
man.
Jesus Christ, dude! Like, way to take the
It's a-
opportunity.
It's no, it's so German job opportunities showed up for that, and it was interesting. But 50,000 owners versus 5 million owners for Total War Warhammer 3 versus Total War Pharaoh. So I don't know. It's a big difference.
Yep. All right. Let's get to highlights. These are games that we have been playing. Poppy Playtime.
Poppy Playtime. Yeah.
But you have to say it like
That was
Emilio
weird.
just said. A puppy. Say it, Bobby. I want to hear your. I want to hear.
Yeah,
It.
can you go Playtime?
Poppy Playtime. Pop.
Oh jeez.
Pop.
Yo, is this the movies on the DL podcast? Are we back there?
So I don't know if you guys remember this game. I slightly remember it when it came out almost exactly 2 years ago. The first chapter came out. It looked like a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff with a bunch of scary toys that come to life and attack you while you're trying to make your way through this toy factory. It's a little different than that, though. I only played the first two Five Nights at Freddy's, so I'm sure the games have evolved since then. There's like 10 of them now. But in Poppy Playtime, what you do, you break into this toy factory that used to make these creepy toys, and it's actually more of a puzzle game, and of course a horror game as well. And the puzzles are decent. They're okay. Now, I just played the first chapter, which they give you for free now. It's like 30 minutes long, maybe 45, depending on how long it takes to figure out the puzzles. And it's a good prelude for it's like maybe 2 or 3 hours of chapter 2 that comes after this. I don't know if they're going to make a chapter 3.
They are. So there's Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, which you're talking about for $10, and then there's Project Playtime, which is called Phase 2 Incineration.
But that was a multiplayer game, it looked like.
Early access.
It was like a 1v6 multiplayer game.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I don't think it really caught on too because there aren't very many people playing it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good for what it is. What's more interesting is how I came about this game. So, like, one of my
found it is more interesting than the game itself.
Yeah, probably.
Savage.
But it's all right. It's, like a quick little game. It's decent as far as the puzzles go, and it doesn't hammer you with the jump scares like Five Nights at Freddy's. But it's got a pretty good. It leads up to a pretty interesting climax at the end, and then sets up the next chapter. But one of my many tasks at work is I handle some stuff with our content filters. So, we send Chromebooks home with every kid in our district. And so we've got to filter their internet access on those, obviously. And we get a lot of requests on both sides, like people saying, why isn't this blocked? And other people saying, why is this blocked? So it's one of those things where you feel like nobody's ever happy about it. But one of the recent requests I got, and this came from a school but originated from a parent. And I've got my own sensibilities, and I don't have kids, so I can't really make. I'd probably let my kid watch like Chucky movies if I had one. So I mean, I'm probably not the greatest person to be making these decisions, but I do my best here. But this parent, in my opinion, was like being maybe a little overprotective, but was very concerned about her child that was singing this song, and it was like a YouTube video that had made like a fan song about this game. And there's a lot of like fan content about this game. Apparently it's pretty big. And I listened to the song and looked it up. It didn't seem that terrible to me, but and the parent was like, with Halloween coming up, I'm just concerned kids are going to be seeing all this content of mutilation and decapitation and this Huggy Wugsy character, which is like the creepy doll in this game. And I was like, that sounds so familiar. What is this game? Like, what is this game? So I started looking into it. And yeah, that's how I ended up playing this game.
Is this the best one in the series?
In what series?
Oh, I thought there was a series of games Didn't we just talk about that?
By the
No, there's a chapter 1, which is what I played. Chapter 2, which is like a longer version of it. You go deeper into the toy factory, and then this Project Playtime, which looks like a 1v6 multiplayer game.
Oh, I see.
and then I just looked it up right now. So I am right. A third one is coming out. It's called it's called Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Deep Sleep. It's coming out in December.
Well, they're giving this one away. That's really good publicity.
And I don't think they did that at first. I think when the game first came out, they charged probably not too much for it. But then when the second chapter came out, I believe they made it free.
I feel
This
like
guy's name is
that's
Huggy
something-
Wuggy. Huggy Wuggy.
Huggy Wuggy is the blue creature with the layers of teeth there. Yeah.
I love. And this parent came to you and was like, "I have concerns about Huggy Wuggy."
Huggy Wuggy.
Dude, it's pretty fucking scary, dude. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it gets pretty gnarly.
Mhm.
Dude, it reminds me
Terrifying.
so much. Fuck. There's no way anybody's gonna remember this. There's a deck building card game where the cards rotate on a big giant wheel, and their iconic guy is a yellow version of that same thing almost. But I don't know what if you guys can nail that. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it.
Is it a physical game or online?
No, it's a video game. And
video,
yeah,
gotcha.
it's a deck building game, and you could go either left or right with your card, and then that I don't know, but yeah, it looks like the same character. Like somebody fucking just stole it and made it yellow.
Okay.
So-
if you know that game, come to our Discord and tell us. Sorry, go.
Yes, please do.
Hey, Bobby, did you finish Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2?
The first one, I don't know if I ever beat the first one.
I remember
tried,
you
though.
saying like, I love this story that like the jump scares always like automatically make you hit escape because you want to pause the game, but in that game it closes the game out to desktop,
Yeah.
and so like you have to do that over and over and over.
Yeah, I accidentally exited out of that game. Yeah, but the first one, God, it's been almost 10 years since that first one came out. I mean, that thing was just like a really small indie game, solo developer, like just kind of made it up. And it ended up being this huge thing. And there's that movie coming out
Yeah,
really soon too.
Yep.
I mean, it's just had such a long life. I mean, there's kind of two movies, but this one is the actual official.
yeah, Nicolas
movie.
Cage, right?
No, that one wasn't really Five Nights at Freddy's. That was like
Oh.
Willy's Wonderland. Everyone knew, like, obviously.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
comes
main
out
character
October
did-
26th.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and the guy, like, I love to hear this kind of stuff. Like he blew up, made a bunch of money, and then he did a lot of philanthropy with the money, which is awesome. He's like, I don't need all this money. Let me give some
Yeah,
of
who
it out.
does?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that first game is a lot rougher than people remember, but I looked it up the other day. I think there's 5 of them, but then after the 5th one, they started making different versions of it. And the most recent one, what was it called? It had this weird name, and it looked like the graphics had improved a lot. And it looked like kind of a different game. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted and Security Breach, I think, is the new one. Yeah, it came out 2 years ago.
Something you would like in Poppy's Playtime but don't have is machine guns, and there's plenty of those in CounterStrike 2.
Hell yeah.
So I played it, and I was like, oh, it's free. I'll play it for 10 minutes so I could talk about it on the podcast, just to whatever. I ended up playing for 3 hours straight, and then and then I've played probably an hour a day since then. So yeah, at least an hour a day.
Dude, are you going pro? Shit.
No, dude, I am not good. I'm not good at all. I got my first 3rd place, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm only playing fucking deathmatch, which is, I do want to talk about it. Don't be intimidated about Counter-Strike. You can play deathmatch, which is literally just spawning and killing each other, and there couldn't be anything less of a commitment or
You don't have to do any buying.
investing. No, you just randomly you spawn with a random weapon and a random secondary, and that's it. And you just go. You don't even pick up weapons from guys you killed. You just stick with. Oh my god, something hideous just crawled. Oh, all right.
Kill it and show us.
Bug.
It's It's Huggy Wuggy, dude.
Eat it.
Look out.
Eat it.
Huggy Wuggy.
It's a moth.
Huggy
It's a moth. I thought it was
Wuggy.
Oh, a
It's
moth.
coming for you.
Don't touch me, Huggy Wuggy.
Don't touch me. So yeah, dude, I was just having a blast on one map. That 3 hours was one map. The other maps, I don't know them as well, so I just played Dust 2, which is like one of the most perfect maps ever made. So yeah, played that, and then I've been playing since then. I got a few chests. These are like your random drops that you get when you level up, and then you can pay $2.50 to open one, which I did, and I got like a $13 skin, and I sold it and made the money right back, and then spent it all on chests and started gambling, and now I'm gonna lose my car, guys. Like I gotta sell my car if I can pay my CounterStrike. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, it's straight up gambling. Straight up. I spent $40 trying to see if I can just make some money so I'd have a good story. Nope. The story is I lost about $36. So
That's a great story still, Watch out for gambling, kids.
Watch out, kids.
Yeah, it's not good to gamble with Counter-Strike.
I would say though, like, if once a week you get a chest if you level up within that week, and which is easy to do. Like you can level up pretty quickly. It's probably worth it $250 just to open it up and see what you get, because there's $800 knives out there and whatnot.
Sell your Steam cards.
$40,000 guns.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, there's crazy stuff out there.
Sell your Steam cards. You never know. You can make a whole $10, $11 if you spend 8 hours selling all your Steam cards, or however long it takes.
Steam cards? What are you talking about?
Jesus.
Yeah. When you finish when you play a game on Steam, you get like 3 random cards from the collector's deck, and then people buy those cards to finish up their Steam profile badges.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I made the money. I lost it. What else did I want to say about it? Oh, the music packs. So you can. I don't know if I have the Hades music pack because I own Hades.
Yeah,
I don't
you
think
do.
so. Is it? Because I own so many other games, and that's the only music pack I have, other than Counter-Strike 2.
I have one. I have one for owning the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, cool. So you're not hearing the whole songs, but like definitely like you're hearing that Hades stuff in the background is so sick, dude. I loved it.
So what ends up happening is when you play like actual like ranked games or like round based games, when you get MVP, it plays like the crescendo of like the
for everybody probably.
Yeah, so like when you win and you have the Halo theme, you can change it, I believe, too. There's like a Denzel Curry one who's like a rapper from Detroit, and like it plays like his crescendo from his song. And there's like the one from like Halo, it's like da 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 da, like when you win. So it's like you definitely know you like it's definitely like a show off thing, because there's also some other ones that are like talking shit songs as well. So and there's like some troll songs. So yeah, people buying
funny.
Dude, they now sell gloves, they sell characters, they sell so many. I've been playing this game every fucking night for at least 2 hours.
Why is it mixed? Do the people who vote on Pharoah also vote on Counter-Strike too?
So I wasn't going to talk about this because I talked about it last week, but do you want me to explain why it's mixed?
Yeah, I got to pee so bad though. But yeah.
Was I here last week? How did I mix this?
I mean, not last week, the week before that. So the reason why it's mixed is that there was two big issues. One with hitboxes, and it's still going on, and one with tick rate. So there's a big issue with headshot hitboxes in particular. There's a lot of videos. If you just go to the Counter-Strike subreddit right now, you can just see how egregious these hitboxes are. Essentially, no matter what aspect ratio you're on, what resolution you're playing on, you could literally be pointing at someone's head, and if you're more than like 10 yards away, for some odd reason, sometimes maybe like a quarter of the time, even if you are directly aiming at their head with like an AK-47 and you shoot once, which is like an automatic kill at that distance, it'll miss. It'll go right through their head. And it's happening all the time in every game. And there's people that are obviously there's millions of people playing this game still. There's been the issue with tick rate and like kind of like a weird lag with the server is you have these what they're calling Michael Jackson peaks, which are funny, where people peek a corner or like peek around a ledge, and your character will go around the ledge, but their feet will stay still. And so it looks like their character leans forward and leans backwards. And it's very interesting. It looks like the Michael Jackson lean in the Smooth Criminal video. And that's not how that's supposed to work, like at all. And so that's why it's mixed. It unfortunately they've taken like 2 steps forward, like as far as like graphics, sound effects, balance and things like that. But they've taken like 1 step backward as far as like hitboxes and things and other things like that. People like the way competitive works, like how you can pick and ban, and you can ban maps, and you can the other interesting thing about playing competitive is you can see how good the other team is at certain maps. So when you play now competitively, it gives you a heat map of what maps your team is best at and what map the other team is best at. So when you ban, even if you're playing with randoms, when you ban, you're trying to ban the other team's best maps. Which sometimes you play some fucking random ass maps because of it. But yeah, it's great. The other thing is they let you see who's in parties, which is another new feature. So you can definitely blame people for shit.
When are us 5, Voltroning up here?
I mean, I'll play.
And
but,
Ultroning up?
This is the last thing why people are getting mad. and it's, in my opinion, it is very justified, but I understand why people are getting mad. To be able to play competitive, which is called Premier now, to be able to play like the mode that everyone wants to play, you have to get your profile to level 10, which takes like 2.5 to 3 weeks alone of playtime, right? With deathmatch, not competitive, all these things. And once you do that, to get your rank, you have to get 10 wins, not games, wins.
Why are people angry? They have to get good finally. They've had it so good for so long, and now they have to pull up
That's
their
what that
bootstraps.
sounds like to me.
So not only that, but what it is there's a lot of scammers and botters and hackers that what they do is they level up accounts and they sell ranks and they sell boosts. And because they can't get those boosts and they can't get those ranks as fast as they used to, they can't sell those accounts and they can't sell those boosts.
Valve has struck back on the bot war and the scam war.
It's not a complete win, but apparently it's winning. Like apparently it's working. Like they're not losing an insane amount of players. Like we have a guy, this is his first time ever playing CounterStrike, and he's like, you guys have explained why this exists, and I'm all for it. Like, I understand. And he just hit level 10 like yesterday. And he's going to get his 10 wins probably this week.
What's our CounterStrike group called, Nick?
Oh, man. The Dirty DLG 5.
Ooh, I like it. Can we have team names in count? I know nothing about Counter-Strike. I've played it like maybe 50 times in my whole life.
So you can't have team names, like you can't name your team, but like people do funny like team like profiles. Like they'll have like the Microsoft Office suite. Like one team will be like Microsoft Word and then Microsoft PowerPoint and then Microsoft.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I like that. I love that.
And then you'll have people be different body parts of characters. Like you'll have like Spider-Man's legs, Spider-Man's feet, Spider-Man's head, Spider-Man's torso.
I want to play with you guys. When you guys play, you, Emilio, send me a message. I'm going to download this. Days, you play shooters, Tarkov? Bobby?
Yes. I want to play this, yes.
Oh,
Counter-Strike? Come on!
If you want to carry me.
Me? Fuck
like
no.
if we're playing deathmatch, who cares?
We'll carry you, but hey, we'll just give you to Emilio.
Yeah, if you play deathmatch, no one cares. That's
you just spawn and you die and you spawn in 1 or 2 seconds, and then that's it.
Let's stop recording the podcast. Let's fucking play right now. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm done afterwards.
Right
but I
now,
always
let's
say
go.
Yeah. Shut it down. Okay.
But yeah, Counter-Strike was great. You know what else is fucking great? The MetaQuest 3, and I didn't think I was going to say this. So I picked up the MetaQuest 3 off of a deal at Best Buy. I was not going to pick this up, but they gave me a 3-month return window. No questions asked, even if it's broken.
Is that
So-
MetaQuest thing or is that Best Buy's thing?
Best Buy's things.
Okay.
Also, yeah, and Meta is doing a return window as well. I don't know what their returning window is, but before, like when you bought the MetaQuest 2, they were like, you buy it, you essentially have to pay for the shipping back, which was going to be like $60. Now there's no cost returning for shipping. So the bare bones experience is just the remotes and the headset and the charging cord. That's it. There's no like extra strap. There's no like charging dock. There's no any like bells and whistles. There's no like premier arm straps. Like all you get is like paracord arm straps and like a cinch. That's it. Like there's no for those who've used like the premium quality arm straps for the Index or for the MetaQuest 2 that you can buy, it does not feel like that. Like it literally
Are you
feels like
talking about
paracord
controllers?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I know they were called arm straps.
Or wrist straps, whatever you want to call them. But I will say for $500, the quality of the headset, the quality of the visuals, the quality of like the interface and everything is worth $500. I've used AirLink before with the MetaQuest 2. I've used it with a cord, and I've used like AirLink, obviously, like without the cord. It was god awful with the MetaQuest 2. I'd never used it with the MetaQuest Pro. I never, because I wasn't going to pay $1,000 for a headset or whatever what it was.
What is that? That's like Bluetooth, basically. You're streaming the video through Bluetooth.
So I don't know if it's Bluetooth. I don't know what witchcraft it is, but it's pretty fucking good. It's instant. Like there is no delay. Like there is no tick. Like there's nothing. There's no. It's instant.
There's no talk, no tick, no talk.
No tick, no talk. I was playing Gorn from my Steam library on the interface, and there was no problem. The
Nice.
only thing that ends up happening is when you launch a game, there's like 3 seconds of like a syncing kind of second, and that's it. Like that's it. That's completely it.
So you have no cord coming off the back,
No cord coming off the back.
Sick,
and the
dude.
battery pack is where?
The battery. What do you mean? It's in the headset. It's in the front of the
Wow.
headset.
How long does it last?
3 hours.
That is not bad. That's longer than most people's gaming sessions.
So here's the negative. Here's a little bit of a negative, I guess you can say. The interface for AirLink is what it's called, is a little wonky. Because of the interface, I accidentally bought Beat Saber twice.
Ooh.
So Meta has an interface for its own games and its own store. So when you launch that store where you can buy Beat Saber and all these other games, you just buy it there, right? But when you launch AirLink, there's all of a sudden another store, but it's the same store. So you can
weird.
buy it. So you can buy another game. You can buy the same game, but again, apparently this is a common issue. I didn't know this.
Sus. That's sus.
That is sus.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg,
so-
not Mark Wahlberg, Zuckerberg. Get down.
Mock Wahlberg. But
Say
yeah,
hi
no.
to your
So,
mother.
anyways, you can return games. I don't know the return rules, but they returned it the next day, which I was very happy about. It was just $30, so no problem with that.
And that's a must buy. I do want to ask you about this. So you said you got Steam VR working. What's preventing you from buying everything on Steam?
So this is my thing, right? So like we're already me and Leslie were like, oh, we're gonna take this over to your sister's house and we're gonna go show your
Oh, right. You
And
want
so
things
we're
on
like-
board.
we want things on board. And so like obviously Half-Life Alyx can't be on board. Gorn is not a MetaQuest title. Phasmophobia is not a MetaQuest title. Like there are a lot of games that are not MetaQuest titles. There's a bunch of games that we'll probably buy eventually, but Beat Saber, because it's so universal, we'll just buy it on MetaQuest. I'm not going to go through the fucking hoot and hanny of buying
hoot and
fucking.
hanny?
I fucking love that, dude. Did you just? Where was that,
dude?
Yes.
If that's not a saying, it should be.
I'm gonna
I'm
look
not
it
gonna
up.
go through all of the hoot and the hanny of all this.
Of downloading
Yeah.
mods and like unlocking and jailbreaking Beat Saber to buy whatever songs I want. I'm not gonna be playing Beat Saber for like hours at a time. Like the weekend songs, the Lady Gaga songs, the fucking Queen songs that are on there is good enough. It's Beat Saber is like that little taste of acid that gets you coming back to the rave. Like that's all it is. Like that's what gets you back into VR gaming.
A
Coming in
hootenanny.
hot with all these nice
It is
sayings.
pretty
Dude,
fun.
keep it going.
A hootenanny, a social gathering or informal concert featuring folk singing and dancing. But I'm never going to use it that way. I'm always going to say it like you said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up, like I said, I ended up playing Beat Saber, Gorn.
Hootenanny.
I almost gave a right hook to my daughter playing Gorn, by the way, which was close.
Jesus.
Leslie, she's 3, by the way, and she cannot, perceive that, hey, Dad can't see me right now while he's wearing a fucking headset. And like Leslie was like, "Get away from Dad!"
Going in for the hug, you're like bashing
I'm like
someone.
beating up, I'm like literally bashing somebody with his own arm.
Yeah, you punched Leslie while you're at my house, dude.
Yeah,
You need to stop, dude. You need to just calm down, Nick. Please, come on.
And then I played Phasmophobia.
How is it though?
What do you mean?
I was gonna say, like, how is it when you walk out of the boundary?
So it definitely lets you know. So it lets you know once you get within 6 inches of the boundary. It lets you know once your arm gets within, I think it's a foot of the boundary. So you can get your face pretty close to the boundary. Once you cross over the boundary, it goes into that mode where you can see everything. And Leslie was like,
nice.
Leslie was like, how can you see everything right now? I'm like, these are all cameras in the front. I can just walk around the house and just like la 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 la. I'm gonna get a soda, like drink it, all this other shit.
To do that in the index, like you have to go into sub menus and fucking. It's like it's involved to be able to the ability to do it, and then you have to push a button in order for do it. But yeah, it should turn on when you hit that. You get close. Your head gets close to the end of the bound. That's perfect.
I'm gonna blow your mind even more. You can set up multiple play areas in your house.
Oh, because it's wireless.
And so, like in my office right here,
that's different.
In my office, I can set up a play area here. I can set up
That's
a play
the
area in
porn
my living room
room.
downstairs. I can set up a
porn
play
room.
area in my loft. I can set up play area in my own, like in my own room. And so it detects those areas, and it's like you're playing here. We already know the boundaries here. Like the dog is in here, so we know not to hit the dog. It's pretty nice. I think besides the resolution upgrade, the majority of the upgrades for this one is interface and processing tech for this, like the smoothness and interaction between the interface itself. The last thing I played was Phasmophobia with my friends. I played 2.5 hours of Phasmophobia. The first hour, I was starting to get a little motion sickness. To get rid of it, I had to start doing high knees, raising my knees to my chest.
Yeah.
And like feel like I was actually walking around. That worked. Oddly enough. I don't know why. And then I also ate some ice cream.
Some other
and then
tricks
that worked.
I know.
Were you scared?
Was I scared? A little bit. The thing that I did not like about it, right? When we play Phasmophobia, are we live streaming that, by the way?
Yes.
That's the plan next week, next Friday.
Yeah. When we live stream Phasmophobia next Friday, TM, I will not be playing on VR. The reason being is that I feel absolutely fucking useless. You are so slow because sprint is tied to your trigger. I mean, not your trigger, to your thumbstick, so you get to click it down. And you're so scared, and you're interacting with everything with your hands. So clicking down on something to run is like not instinctual. So you're just like, like something's chasing you, like click, click, click. Like you're not trying to do that. You're trying to fucking run. You're trying to turn off your flashlight. You're trying to put away your radio. Because to be able to talk on the radio, you have to pick up your radio, put it next to your ear, pull the trigger. Like it's way more involved. Like the game gets way more serious. But then again, you can carry an extra item in. So the game gets very much.
So you think the devs knew it was harder, so they gave you 1+ thing to it?
That's cool. That is awesome that they did that.
I feel like you would have to play an all VR team.
So that
put it on very easy.
So here's my thing. This is what I told Leslie before I started the podcast. I'm like, when I play with the guys, I'll play in VR because we like talking shit and we make fun of each other while we're in VR. Like, look at your fucking scoliosis back, you weirdo. Like that, like because your character's always distorted because everyone's different sized, and like it's never balanced. But when I'm playing with like new people, because I don't know, for some odd reason, every year I'm instructing 3 or 4 new fucking people in the world to
Chirping
phasmophobia.
them into phasmophobia.
It's like somebody's
'cause you're
cousin
so
that just
good
got
at
a
it,
gaming
Nick.
computer, and they're like, "Hey, can you teach fucking Jeremy how to play Phasmophobia? You just turned 12." I'm like, "Yeah, sure,
Yes. Take my class. Come on.
whatever." Yeah, and so I'll play on computer. So when we play on next week, I'll play on computer. Last thing I'll say about it.
Next week, Friday.
I'm sorry. The last thing I'll say about it, because I've been rambling for so long.
No, this is
probably
good
the
info, man. I think
The
a lot
most
of people
in-depth
need to hear
review
about
I've
this.
done for something.
Yeah.
The only thing that will get me to return this, most likely, is if Valve announces a wireless headset in the next 3 months. That's it.
Which they might, because Steam VR 2 beta just came out. And I think I saw it's exactly like when the Index came out. I think somebody sent pictures from a factory in China of like it had a Steam. So I think it happened again, but I don't know, man. Like
I think
they might not be going wireless, dude. They seem to be pretty hardcore, but we'll see.
Dude, here's the thing, man. I'm telling you right now, I can play games at the highest fidelity on my computer through the Quest. Like, there's no, like,
so even in another room, the wireless is fucking rocking and rolling.
Yeah, like 15 feet away, dude. Like through a doorway, through walls.
It's pretty sweet.
Wow, that's sick.
Sweet.
So,
And also,
I mean, I got fiber internet, so I don't know if that helps, but.
And you were eating ice cream. I think that does.
probably does.
Moose Track peanut butter ice cream was pretty good.
Oh my, that sounds delicious. Moose Track peanut butter ice cream. Yum.
But MetaQuest 3, if you have $500 to spare or somebody loves you during Christmas time, ask for it.
So no buyer's remorse right now, yeah?
Not right now, no.
Good, man. It's good to hear.
It's definitely going to be a thing like, oh, we're going over somebody's house, let's take it.
Listen, talk all the shit you want about Meta. At least they're pushing a technology we are all interested in.
I will never go into the metaverse though.
That's
I'll
true.
tell you right now. I looked at it for like a half a second. I was like, yeah, this is fucking stupid.
Dude,
this looks so boring.
Wait, did you see the new fucking like interaction? What's his name? Zuckerberg was on Lex Friedman podcast, and they were talking to each other. 3D models of each other were talking to each other in a 3D negative space.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was fucking insane, dude. It was so crazy. Not the cartoony one, dude. The one that looks absolutely real.
Yeah, but
You know
you
what
have
I'm
to
talking
scan,
about?
you
It
have
was
to
recent.
scan yourself like in all this other shit. Yeah.
So you have to
do you
scan
have
yourself.
do you have a 3D scanning camera for your body so you can video chat with your
I'm sure you'll be able to do it
with your
phone.
sister Diana, who's going to take 40 hours to figure out how to scan herself, buddy?
Oh my god.
Like who the fuck are you going to talk to?
You're
3D
assuming-
scan.
It does look pretty. I just looked up the picture. It looks pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. So the computer already has your head scanned in there, and then so all it has to do is the movement, and I guess the movements is a lot less than full video.
You know,
So
how many
it's
people
not
that
taking up
don't
that much bandwidth?
how many people that are not fat? I mean, how many people that think they're not fat are going to have a rude wake up call when they have their body scanned? They're like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
Like, God damn.
That's savage. That's a good point.
That'll be me. I'll be like,
Oh, fuck, my ass is that small.
My shit.
Oh man, but yeah,
I have like beer goggles for myself. Does anyone else have that? I'm like, God, I'm so attractive. Anyone else
And
have
I came to terms with how ugly I am when I was like 25, dude. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. After I met Leslie, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it better. I'm ugly. Yeah.
I get a rude awakening every now and
I
then.
don't think so.
But
Wait, you're not ugly, Nick.
I'm ugly.
I love you. I think you're beautiful. Project Planet, Earth vs. Humanity. Who won?
Yeah. Well, I feel like Earth has won most of the time. So yeah, we played Project Planet Earth versus Humanity. This is the kind of Jackbox similar game that I talked about on the radar last week. And this past Friday, we got to play it in a game night. And I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was kind of on the confusing side in the very beginning, just because when you're a part of humanity, each thing has a power multiplier towards the population. And when you're humanity, you're trying to keep your population high, or at least go through some catastrophic event that happens in 4 different waves. So it's kind of this like turn-based thing where there's 5 people versus 1 person, and the 1 person can send out like catastrophic events that causes all the people in humanity to put resources to the side to address, even though they're not sure what it's going to be. And so I thought that this was super fun. I had a blast with this. I'm like looking forward to play it again. We did 2 rounds with it. I know, Christian, you were there for them. Bobby as well. Bobby was media, and Christian was the world leader at one point. Yeah, we had Scram that was Earth, and he picked what was it, like a tsunami? And that was pretty fun and a blast. And then when we played again, I ended up being Earth, and I picked a pandemic, which hit a little close to home, I guess, because they really did follow it just like they did with coronavirus. But it was pretty fun.
There's some interesting opinions going out there. Well, whatever. Bobby, I have a bone to pick with you, media man. How dare you? How dare you use your position as a sounding board for the public to undermine the world leaders who were just trying to help our population during a terrible hurricane? What do you have to say?
You were coming after me too. You were coming after me pretty hard.
His name is Robert. You mean Rupert?
What's interesting about this game? So this is like a 1v5 or 1v6 game, and the 5 people that are teamed up, they're also competing with each other, because if that side wins, then whoever has the most like influence actually wins the game. So you're trying to win this 1v1 with Earth, but then at the same time you're trying to win it more than all of your partners as well. So and the more that you try to get ahead of your partners, the more it hurts your side. So you have to do this weird balance of help yourself but also help your team. It's a pretty well designed game. I thought it was a little confusing at first, but I think I think once we got through one initial round, it was a lot of fun.
I wish there was more
trying
people
to watch. Yeah, how many people can play this? Because we were maxed out.
It's 6 total, because it's 1 for Earth and then 5 people for humanity. And then you play off of your phone, and you just kind of watch on the screen the events that play out. And they sometimes pop in like events that look like actual news, media, real life clips and things like that. And so,
yeah,
cool.
Who won the most?
Well, Scram was playing Earth the first round, and he won that. And I was trying to, it got too late for me, so I stepped out of the second round, but I was trying to watch, but I didn't make it till the end of that game. Did somebody on the other side win that?
So full disclosure, I got kind of drunk that night, but I'm pretty sure that Earth won again.
Yeah,
which was me at the time. So,
take a bow.
Which is the pandemic.
It seems like Earth has the advantage there. I don't know. It seemed kind of difficult from.
I think so too.
On the other side.
No, dude, it's probably just like Evolve, where the monster always had a huge advantage because the people don't know what to do yet. It's one of those things where it takes a while, especially something this complex, where you're like, it's just how do you explain this? Kill the big guy without killing each other, yet still trying to trip each other. Yeah, it's interesting. I like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
fun. Train at someone's
house? I'm looking
house?
forward to this being a game that we play.
I hear a train.
Oh, that's mine. I'm sorry.
That's me. Oh, okay. Just by your house, there's a train. All good.
What that train is not full of is balls. Bang on balls. Chronicles. Bang. So I was looking for things to put on the radar, actually. And I was like, wow, fucking overwhelmingly positive, 2,700 reviews. Let me see the price. It's like $25. All right. And I was chatting with Nick anyway. So I was like, hey, you want to pick this up and then return it? And then he's like, yeah. So how do you even explain this game, Nick? So what is the meme called?
So it's the Poland ball meme. which is like countries are depicted as little balls or like marbles or like sometimes even bean bags if you're like China or the United States. Here's like the perfect example, right? Because I'll even make fun of the country we all live in, except for a sniper. He lives in Canada, and Canada's always depicted as like the funny guy, and sometimes with a goose hat, or moose horns, or a Mountie hat. But America is usually depicted as a super fat guy on like a rascal, which is like, for those who don't know, it's like a disability scooter with like 3 wheels. And he has a bunch of guns on his back. Like that's usually how America is depicted. And usually the comics make fun of like political affiliations or like misunderstandings in like the world view or like or like in world politics and things like that.
It's a geopolitical like
like commentary, like, but it's cartoon strip. Yeah.
My favorite is the historical ones. It'll be like SPQR versus Gauls. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. Well, we actually play. Funny you say that. As we actually played the Viking Age, and the mini boss we faced was supposed to be like a Caesar.
We got
little SQR flag as like a weapon.
SPQR, Senate and People's Republic of Rome.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and
can't forget the P.
I mean, I need you to calm down, dude.
How often do you think about the Roman Empire? It's the stupidest fucking question in the world. Anyways, as far as like what is this game? Like what even is this game? It is a co-op, like roundabout, like interaction platformer.
Let me take over, dude.
Like, dude, it's insane. I don't know what to call it, dude. It's all over the place.
It's an exploration and collection action game, like a Lego game. So you're playing in third person. You can jump, double jump, dash, and siphon. I think that's it.
Yeah. And then there's like there are effects that can be put onto you. For example, like we were put into bubbles, and then like you can do things with those bubbles.
I figured it out, dude. So you charge it up, and your slam attack is like 10 times bigger every like minute or so.
Yeah, and so like you get items. Most of them are cosmetic. Some of them have effects, and there's so many levels. Me and Emilio played, I think, almost 2 hours or an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, and it was just one level, and we didn't even explore the whole thing. And there was things that we couldn't get to.
One objective out of 3, didn't complete the 2 sub objectives, and just only defeated 1 mini boss.
It's so big, hey? Yeah.
It's huge, and there's like 10 levels. It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah. Like it's one of these things where like you're both doing your own thing, and then whenever something requires 2 people, like a boss, and you're like, hey, can you come help me over here? But meanwhile, you're just like breaking shit and rolling into shit, killing things, and yeah, it's fucking cool. I had a good time with it. $25 though seemed a little heavy for me. What do you think, Nick? Like,
I think if you have something, so first of all, this game is intended, I believe, to be played on couch co-op, because you literally press escape and click start co-op. That's it. Like that's all you have to do to start playing couch co-op. It saves your character that you're playing on couch co-op as well, so you can just start playing. And that's another thing is about customization. You can have state flags, you can have historical flags represent your little ball that you're playing, you can have country flags. The flags are all over the place. And so I think for 25 bones, if you have somebody to play with at home, perfectly fine. If you get nobody to play with, the game is really intended to be played with co-op. The reason being is that it makes A, everything faster, and B, there are doors that require 2 people to open. And if you don't have a second person, you have to get money to have an NPC open it for you. So once again, it just makes the game faster. Also, you can beat up shit faster as well.
The Easter egg. So we're only an hour into this game, but the Easter egg that we found so far was fucking sweet. There were underneath this whole Roman aqueduct area. Yeah, Nick was like, "Hey, there's something down here." There's a lot of that. There's like you're playing through this,
Oh,
and
dude.
you're calling out like, "Oh, there's something over. There's a secret over here. Secret over here. Secret." But the one he's talking about is, or I was about to talk about was the Roman aqueducts underneath. Guess what? Fucking, there's a rat guy, and he has all 4 turtle masks down there, and so a lot of the motivation in this game is getting new gear for you to like cosmetic gear. So we got all 4 Ninja Turtle masks. We have all 4 colors, and it was cool. And we could have completely missed it.
Yeah, you can just completely walk by the door. There's a lot of rabbit holing. Like you can definitely just like walk by something and just be like, oh, like the thing that we did, that whole thing that he's just talking about was a mini boss, 11 like cosmetics, a weapon, like all these things, and that was completely just able to be walked past.
Yeah.
And it like we just saw a door, we're like, hey, this is the first time we've ever seen a door that it needs 2 people to open. Let's just step on it. And we did. And we did. And
then it went into this whole other world. It was crazy.
Yeah. I love the second level is the Cold War. Did you guys see that when you were in the TV studio area? Because that's what I think is really unique about this game, that you go into different levels, but really you're at a TV studio.
You're in a TV studio, yeah.
And you go into the TVs. Land. Oh, really?
Yeah. It's called Bobbyland because you're a neutral character named Bob, and then the whole thing is called Bobbyland. Yeah.
And so before it was 6:30. It was time for and Nick is like, I got to take a shit before the show. And I was like, all right. So he fucking stopped moving, right? He's just hanging out there. And I'm jumping around trying to find things. And then a Chinese ball came in, a third player. So I think this is a 4-player co-op.
Up to 4-player online. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that I had my game open, but yeah, apparently I did. And I don't know if that adds, but whatever. Like all 4 of us can play. It's a good time for sure.
Yeah.
The graphics are good, very pretty, and I don't know. You feel like you're both discovering secrets so quickly that you feel like should I go to your secret or should you come to my secret? Because I think mine is purple. Mine is purple, and mine has 2 things that you have to sit on. You know what I mean? So it's cool, really cool exploration and stuff. I think
consider with the value proposition you guys were talking about earlier. This game would be so easy to sell to kids, package up, and put a fuck ton of microtransactions for every goddamn skin in there. License across all the different
of course.
things. Put Batman in, and they could be predatory and trying to sell that to people, but instead for $25 you get everything. So I think you get maybe a little bit of leeway on the price.
I agree with you. I think, like I said, if you have people to play with, whether it be at home or like you have a constant person be like, hey buddy, hop on, it's me and you, like, then yeah, this is the game for you. But if you have to look for randos, aka Bobby, $25, I don't know. Like if you got $25 to spend,
called out.
I'll probably hang on to this just to play with Nick, actually. Yeah. Christian, talk to me about Dune, Spice Word. You've been waiting for this one, dude.
Okay. Have you guys seen the Dune movie?
Yes.
And,
oh, yeah.
And you guys, Bobby, you saw the Dune movie?
Yes, I've seen the Dune movie.
Okay, I just wanted acknowledgement from everyone. Okay, so you guys know the soundtrack in the Dune movie, is intense. Like,
we're talking about the new one or the old one?
I'm talking about the new one, even though the old one is one of my favorite movies of all time. But, it's a bunch of like throat singing, deep thunder, blah, 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 lots of tempo building, whoop, 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 whoop. And that is how I feel playing this game. I feel like Dune Spice Wars nails the feeling of being in the Dune universe, but it doesn't look like the movie, and it doesn't look like the game, and it also isn't like the book. So it's doing its own thing, and some people... yeah, some people in the reviews are like, they don't like that, but I think it serves the game well. It's still immersive for me, anyways. This is a really slow paced 4-time strategy game. The spice must flow in 1.0. It just came out, and like you'll put units on the map and you'll move them, and they'll take a long time to get from A to B. And a lot of the game is managing the movement of your troops. You can get airports that help you manage that, but you don't want to get caught out in the desert because you'll be eaten by a sandworm, and your units also each have supplies on them. So when you're out of your territory, your supplies will tick down, and your units will just die in the desert. So it can be pretty unforgiving if you have to go a long distance to attack someone and you haven't planned properly, which I feel like is exactly how Dune should feel. I played this game in early access a little bit, and I immediately stopped because I was like, I don't want to ruin it for 1.0. And I just have a fun question. Have you guys played a game in EA that you liked more than the 1.0 version?
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, DayZ. That shit fucking in 1.0, it broke the game. It wasn't able to be played for 3 months.
That's a long time.
Me, it's a Realm Royale.
Realm Royale?
Realm Royale was fun, man. We were all having a good time. And I don't know if it was 1.0 that came out, but they had this patch and everybody hated it. And
was that the one where everybody looks like Rambo?
No, that's the one that looks everybody looks like World of Warcraft characters. Like medieval, real cartoony. It was really fun. And they changed some things. Everybody hated it. A bunch of negative reviews. Decided not to change that one thing. And all right. I mean, they buried their own game.
So when I was playing this game, I was like, God damn, I can't believe I didn't play it in early access. I can't roll back to it in early access because they've added a couple mechanics, which is great, but it's so much more micro. And I was like, I'm pausing all the time, and it's just taking, I think, a little bit longer than what my experience was in early access. A lot more Googling things, looking things up. So, maybe it's a time, in a matter of time, I'll understand these new mechanics and it'll be like a second nature. But it was such a jump. And I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't talk about this because, if I'm not having a very positive experience, maybe I can come back at 1.2 or 1.3 and see if that's fixed. But they added conquest mode. Okay, this is another question. You guys all played the original Star Wars Battlefront, right?
Yeah.
And you remember that conquest mode? Did you ever play the conquest mode? It's like a map of the galaxy, and then each yeah. So that is kind of like what this is. Each game of Dune Spice Wars is an area on the map, but it adds progression to your faction because you control an area that has like a massive volcano. Okay, if you win, now your faction, when it goes to the next area, has like extra power, 10% to your power production or whatever. So you can
so you're rallying.
Yeah, and it's really satisfying to do it that way. And when they added that, I was like, yes, this is excellent. The extra micro, it's taking a little bit longer for me to get through things, but super fun, and I love that they added that.
You probably haven't played enough to know, but is there a comeback mechanic? Because that seems kind of broken.
I haven't gotten I've only done 3 battles on the conquest mode, so I don't know if there is a comeback mechanic, but there is 2 crises at the top that I can see. One is the more territory I take, the more everyone else likes each other on the map. And the second one is depending what I do in each skirmish map, if I'm ever rude to the Fremen at all, their thing ticks up, and eventually they're going to be in rebellion against me. So I think maybe those 2 things are I'm going to have to come to terms with if I'm getting really ahead. But super fun in Conquest, and a multiplayer experience, right? So you can go with your friends, you can have maybe a weekly game or whatever, and you're all playing this conquest mode. I don't know, it just adds progression to like a Civ game in a really cool way. So yeah, Dune Spice Wars, I like it. A little bit more micro in 1.0, not a huge deal. And
if somehow you haven't seen the new Dune reboot, which is great, like when I watched it, I mean, people didn't receive it as well as I did, but I said, is this going to be the Star Wars for the new generation, like the little kids when they're watching this? I thought it was incredible. But it's on Netflix right now, streaming on Netflix. So They usually don't have
Oh, that's
blockbusters
great.
on there. Yeah, good place to check it out.
Pyronical in chat. I want tanks, dude. Tanks. That's gonna. There's a whole. Don't even get me started on the tanks, dude. You're gonna.
Don't get him started. Don't get him started. There's a
You're agitating
rock,
the-
paper, scissors. There's lasers, there's missiles, and there's shields, and you can't mix them. Else there's nuclear explosions. Just stop.
Thank you.
Shut up. Stop.
Well, somehow worms are okay though. Giant worms are okay.
The
Oh,
worms
they're
are the
fun.
balancing feature. They're the balancing feature.
Are they in the game, Christian?
Oh yeah, big and it's a big mechanic avoiding those worms, putting thumpers down in your enemy territory so that the worms get called and are eating their harvesters. It's so deep. Oh,
You sound
really quick.
so excited, dude.
I'm so fucking. I just want to play it right now.
Fucking dweeb.
Yeah, super nerdy. There's so many. So with these new, right, that's what I was going to say. When they added these new layers, these new micro layers, there's like an espionage panel. There's an economic panel. There's normal conquest mode. And I was like, wow, I feel like if I wanted to do super micro espionage, I could win that way. I might not have fun playing that way, but like it's a viable route to win. And I just feel like they did a good way of layering these systems in a way that, like, yeah, if you want to go in and play it more like an RTS, like Age of Empires, you can do that. If you want to play super sneakily, you can do that too. And you'll probably, depending on what you like to play as, you'll still have fun either way. So, yeah, good shit. Dune Spice Wars. Oh, can anyone give me their best like throat wailing like from the movie? Like like give it to me.
I'd have to hear it. But go ahead.
Are you talking about the dudes that are like in the field that are like being blessed by the bishop? Or are you talking about the?
That was pretty good. No, just like the background track,
the hymnals from the Sand People. Yeah, I can't do that.
There you go.
Oh, right. All right.
Nailed it,
More of a
right?
Wookiee.
Right?
Could you imagine if Bobby came out and he was like, "This is the one thing I can't do." And it
That's
just,
good, Nick.
goes off.
That's good, Nick. That's good.
Yeah, the throat singing that's in that scene where you see all the genetically the genetically engineered warriors being blessed, like the fucking.
Oh yeah,
mercenaries and
yeah.
that
The
shit's-
Sardaukar.
Yeah,
The Sardaukar.
they're so fucking metal, dude. Like even I knew who they were, and I don't know that much about Dune. I was like, oh my god, it's them. And like, yeah, they're like the super fucking weirdos.
They looked a lot better in the new movie.
Yeah,
Sniper,
they
are
did.
you erect right now? I feel like you might be erect.
I love
Why are you
Dune.
so Why are
I
you
love
so
Dune.
sweaty?
Okay, I have two friends, and our entire relationship
How
is
do you-
based
how do you
on
like-
Dune.
I mean, I can see that. I have the same thing with Warhammer. Yeah, it's it IPs can bind people, definitely.
Yeah. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, not Dune. Lame. Sorry.
A
Keep going.
17-year-old game.
This is an old one. I remember this game. I got it for free back when you used to get free games when you bought video cards. And I remember I was playing WoW at the time. This was like 06, 07. Yeah, it must have been 07. I was like deep in the throes of WoW. So I did not give this game the time of day. But I've always kind of thought about it because it seemed like a pretty good game. And the reviews are really good despite it being so
Yeah, they
old.
are.
And it's an interesting game. So it's an RPG set in a fantasy world. It looks a lot like Skyrim, but it's very, very linear. It's kind of odd because we're so used to RPG games being these big open world experiences or sandboxes these days. But this one is just like an A to B, chapter 1, chapter 2 type of thing. So it's a different experience for better or for worse. The talent tree is rather limited. You have like 4 gear options. There just isn't a whole lot of complexity that you're used to. It is, for its time, it's a very interactive world, though. You can interact with a lot of things in the world, and the game really pushes you towards environmental damage, which this sounds like super lame right now, but let's just rewind back to 2006. This is kind of a bigger deal. They set up a lot of things where you can push enemies over a cliff, or you can throw oil on the ground and light it on fire, or knock some crates down so they fall on somebody's head and kills them. They really try to push you in that direction. and it's kind of fun. And they also incorporate a lot of stealth too, if you build into it. There's like vision cones and body drag, all that stuff. What's interesting is that this game, well, I mean, it's not a surprise. This game did not run very well. It had support for like widescreen, and it looked really good, but it kept crashing on me. So, I went to the internet to figure this out, and I discovered this thing called Large Address Aware. It's this application that somebody made where you can edit the executable of a file, and it allows that file or that game to use more memory. And this was a much bigger problem back in the day, because I mean, we're all 64-bit now these days, but a long time ago when we weren't, 32-bit on Windows could only use like 3.5 gigs of RAM. And a lot of games were expecting to use that much. So this one benefited from this program, this large address aware application that I used. And when I looked it up in this forum, there were other games like some old sim games, the first Mass Effect, this whole list of games that also benefit from this application. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah,
why did you play this? Why did you play this, Bobby?
I had installed it a couple weeks ago because I found it in my library. And I'm like, oh yeah, that game. Every time I see the game, I'm like, oh yeah, that game. I got to play that sometime. And last week was the week. We recorded on Saturday last week. So on Sunday, I just found myself with an extra pocket of time that I'm not used to. And I was like, let's get into it. Let's play it. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's going to be hard for a lot of people to really get into this because there's just so many better games out there. This is an old Arcane Studios game. I'm not sure which Arcane Studios because I know there's a lot of them out there, but that's the studio that made all those Batman games.
Have you ever thought about playing on GOG, Bobby?
Yeah, I play a ton of games on that. This game is not on GOG.
Is it not?
No, it's not. And I know they do a lot of things like they don't sell a game that's not going to work on GOG on an older system.
The reason being is that I watch a YouTuber called Mandalore Gaming, and he plays nothing but old games. He hardly ever plays a new game. Usually, like a studio has to pay like a lot of money, and it has to be like an IP that he's extremely interested in. And so like he played this game like I think 2 or 3 years ago, and if there's games that like are extremely difficult to run, he gives you all the like the details and all the files of like how to fix the game and how to make the game work, and like he'll give you like every incidental thing, and like he gets millions and millions of views. But it's Mandalore Gaming, so yeah, if you ever just get the like if the inclination to play an old game and you're like this one's like shit, just search the game and the Mandalore Gaming and you might find a fix.
But Bobby,
I
the
might
time
have
to
come
beat
across
is
him.
10.5 hours on this bad boy.
Yeah, it's not. There's about 10 chapters, but the first ones go quickly, and I'm on chapter 4, maybe 5. I've kind of hit a roadblock though. I'm at this level with a boat, and actually no, I figured out how to get past that. Okay, no roadblock. Never mind. Yeah. So
I will say back in the day, this was like a title that I definitely wanted. I wanted this bad. This was pre Skyrim. I was like, this looks right up my alley. But I think it was always expensive, or I never bit the bullet on this one.
Yeah, it was always like that game in the background for me that I meant to go back and play, but never did. But yeah, pretty good time with that game. I'm going to keep it installed and continue to play it. Make some progress here and there. I want to start streaming more. We talked about this coming Friday, the 22nd, I believe. No, that's not right. That's next Sunday.
20th.
The 20th. So we're going to be streaming. All of us are going to be on this Twitch channel here, streaming some Phasmophobia, maybe some other scary games. But as I was playing this and also Poppy Playtime, I'm like, man, this is just, I really should just start streaming this, just in case someone's around. I mean, it's content. I hate throwing that word out there, but I feel like we got to be, little more involved, you know.
Ooh, do we have some wind in our sails? I was streaming.
Oh my god!
Oh, I don't want to jinkaroni it. I was streaming a couple times this week, and I was really happy that people in the community came by and said hi. I mean, they don't have to. I'm not super entertaining. I'm not super captivating, and the games I'm playing aren't like new or anything. But people still came by and said hi and stuck around for a bit. So yeah,
Everything
appreciate
helps. I'll tell you right now, as someone who has a friend, oddly enough, that has an official partnership just by streaming when he plays WoW and he raids, and he doesn't do any promotion or anything. He just fucking, whenever he raids, that's all he does. Once a week, he just streams, and he has the fucking thing where he gets paid for streaming. Anything fucking helps. Consistency helps. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's hard to be consistent, but I feel if enough of us did it whenever we had the time, like, you know, that would add up to something.
it would.
So Arcane Studios, just like this is pretty nice lineup here. Dishonored 2, Prey remake. That a lot of people love that game. Deathloop, Dark Messiah, and a lot of Dishonored. Let's see, Wolfenstein, a couple Wolfenstein things, but I think those are the two bad ones. But other than that, yeah, a lot of good things on their resume here.
Yeah, but there's like I was saying, I think there's multiple ones. There's like an Arcane Austin and another Arcane.
I gotcha.
So
Arcane, Nicholas's mom. Yeah, they're. I don't know. Sorry. Plugs and subs. Okay, I'm going to talk about something we haven't heard about in a long time. 4 years, in fact, maybe 3 or 4 years. Bobby's video game movie reviews. You guys remember those? 3 to 4 minute.
Dude.
Yeah, 3 to 4 minute little vignettes about video game movies. I always look at them, and I've thought about this for like a year. I was like, I should just go back and redo all the titles and put different thumbnails to make it more clickable, because Bobby put in so much work into these, and it's so evident. Like, they're such good videos, and we get so many comments like, oh, I can't believe this quality of video is on this small of a channel. You know? Yeah. And I think what Bobby maybe lacks in knowledge about thumbnail and just making things clickable is a very small sliver of what I can bring to the table. So I made some changes. The title "Video Game Movie Reviews Grandma's Boy" became a "Grandma's Boy. It made me the man I am today." You do say that in that video. So,
Nice.
Video Game Movie Reviews Rampage became "Rampage is a feast for the eyes, not the mind." And if you've listened to Bobby for a while, you've probably heard that phrase about a dozen times. I think it's very. It's not a horrible headline. Video Game Movie Reviews Doom Annihilation became Doom Annihilation isn't a great movie, which I feel like was what your comeback from that was. So I'm doing a fun little experiment, and I'm seeing if changing. They're awesome reviews, and I'm seeing if changing these two things are going to push views up, you know? Because they're still shown to a bunch of people. We get the odd comment every now and then, and you can help with the algorithm by going to our YouTube channel. Head to our website, dlgaming.net, and click YouTube, and then find Bobby's Video Game Movie Reviews on a handy little playlist that I've created just for you. You can watch.
Did you get Bobby's face like for his thumbnail? Like,
no, I didn't, because he doesn't show his face in any of the videos, so it'd be a little strange. Yeah.
he's
Okay.
wildly
Yeah,
talented, and his face is
Pop.
the best thing about him.
Listener questions, I think, Bobby.
Yep, it is time for some listener questions, and we've got a few of them. You know what? I didn't check these, so I don't know if we had any more. I just hate missing these. So if someone wants to check the Discord real quick.
No,
okay,
no more.
So
All
like
right.
2.
All right, first one's coming from Pyronical. How many states in the U.S. have you been to? I assume as Americans, it must be a few, but Sniper gets a pass. As a New Zealander, I've been to 9. Surely you've seen more of your country than me. Look, man, first of all, when you come from the best state and the best city in the U.S.,
He doesn't
there's
shut
really
the fuck
not
up
much of
about
a
San
range.
Diego. He doesn't be quiet.
not much of a reason to travel.
We're in
honestly.
Paris,
I
and
mean,
he's like, San Diego, you know, I mean, Paris, how beautiful, but, you know, San Diego.
Not good enough internet. Yeah. Fucking, as somebody that has traveled to all but 4 states, California slaps, but I wouldn't say it's the best. But it is pretty
Whoa.
great. I don't know.
You
I
shut
have
your
not
goddamn
been to
mouth.
Vermont, Hawaii.
I'm kidding.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
you know
I'm
what,
kidding.
man? Like I said, I've
completely
either
agree.
driven through. Yeah, well, I've either driven through or lived in quite a lot of the states. It's just Alaska, Hawaii, Vermont, and North Dakota are the ones I have not been to. I don't know. They all have their perks. There's all pros and cons to all of them. That wasn't part of the
12
question
for
though.
me.
But yes, I've definitely
good
beaten
question.
you, Pyronical. That's for sure.
I had to count. And I used my toes too. 12,
16.
16.
Bro, you guys have exact numbers. I have no idea. I've been to a lot. When I was younger, my parents would drive out to Maryland to visit my grandmother every couple of years, and we'd drive across the U.S. We'd take the southern route going out and the northern route coming back. So I mean, I saw a lot.
That's Route
But,
66
yeah.
on the northern side. Yeah.
I think I've been to 7. Is there a state between New Mexico and California, or is that the state?
Arizona.
Arizona. Yep, 7. Perfect.
Yeah. And Nevada, did you count it? Because we went to Vegas.
I did.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
So I've
What's
been to.
next?
No, Dave's been to the most. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you goddamn right. I've been to the most.
Don't you forget it.
No, I hope so. I'm trying to knock out
Look at
the
that
other
motherfucker.
4. No, I do. I really want to go
What
to
are you
all
missing,
50. Yeah,
Days?
then I am trying to knock it out.
You're not gonna go
I'm
to Puerto
missing
Rico.
Vermont, North Dakota. I what?
You're not gonna go to Puerto Rico.
What'd you say, Nick?
You're
I've
not
been to
gonna
Puerto
go
Rico. I backpacked through Puerto Rico.
Oh shit, you did. Never mind.
Damn.
Yeah, shut the
Shit,
fuck
you
up,
got extra
Nick.
credit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Puerto Rico. It's beautiful. It's awesome. I loved it there. But yeah, I have not been to Vermont, North Dakota, Alaska, and Hawaii. I could probably
Amazing.
change Alaska and Hawaii like while I'm living here. Will be
Yeah.
cool.
I want to do Alaska too.
Drive up. Drive through my hood. The highway goes all the
I'm
way,
not
baby.
driving to Alaska.
Now you're on the west side?
I'm gonna take
You
a
living on
ferry.
the west side now?
No, but you're going
Yeah.
close. Yes.
It's quite a detour.
Literally half a country.
It is quite a detour, Christian.
It's a big place.
All right, next question coming from A Tom. What's your favorite snack or drink to consume when you plan on a heavy gaming session? Plan on having a heavy gaming session.
You know, I don't think I've ever like drank, and I drink energy drinks for work sometimes, maybe like twice a week, but I don't think I've ever done it, or coffee, because I feel like I just do it forever anyway. Well, probably not forever, but I don't remember ever having caffeine just to keep going. What about you guys?
If you want to feel like, if you're playing Crusader Kings 3 and you want to feel like a maniacal king, if you want to embody your character, you get really high and you make yourself a delicious cup of coffee. The caffeine, the weed, the game, you know, I don't even know if it can be beaten by anything else.
Anybody else want to talk?
For me, it's gonna be definitely Red Bull Yellow, 12 ounce. You gotta be exact with that.
No more, no less.
No more, no less. If I drink too much, you can't go to sleep. If I drink too little, it's not gonna work. But no, it's gonna be Red Bull, yellow, and then as far as snacks go, it's gonna be super niche. It's the Tex-Mex trail mix from Target. Yeah, pretty good. And I don't touch my. I'm sorry to interrupt, Bobby. Super sorry. I don't touch it with my hands. I get it in this fucking plastic container. Actually, I have it right here. I get it right here in a plastic container. I open it and then I just chug it like a fucking savage.
You ever,
I chug trail mix. Yeah, it's a problem.
have you ever thought about a trail mix funnel, dude?
No.
We need to expedite things. We need to expedite things over here.
Or maybe a trough, a
Just
trail trough.
chug it.
We can all use a trail trough, dude.
He has to bend.
Right below your. There's a little hook that it goes right on your mic, and then you trail trough.
You guys are so big. You have like just ridiculous containers for your food. Have you tried
dude,
a bathtub?
I went. Speaking on that, so we went. Some my brother-in-law and his friends like to go camping for overnight, just one night. They leave at like 5 p.m. and they come home at like 5 a.m. It's crazy. I'm like, why?
Who the fuck does that?
Yeah, because they like to do mushrooms in the fucking in the
Oh,
desert,
that makes
man.
sense. Okay.
Anyway, I ain't take anything because I'm a big behemoth, and I just always feel like I'm content with what I have, you know. So I didn't have a cup. We brought a 5-gallon thing for water, but
Yeah.
I didn't bring a cup. So I took a 1-gallon thing. I drank the whole 1 gallon, and then it was hot as fuck. And I chopped the top of it off, and I now had a 1-gallon cup, dude. I was carrying it with one hand, and people were saying, whenever anybody said they were thirsty, I was like, "You want some?" They're like, "No, I'm not gonna drink out of your gallon cup." So weird.
Giant problems.
Needs a lot of
Yeah.
water.
Cool.
I think my
Bobby.
favorite snack and drink for long gaming is I don't know. I usually drink like a shitload of limoncello LaCroix if I'm gonna game. Just specific, and then I don't know. I really like Cheetos or popcorn for a snack.
Delicious.
I like popcorn, but not when I'm gaming. Only when I
Yeah,
watch
I would-
movies.
I don't think I've ever seen Bobby like chow down, or maybe a burrito. If you were hungry, you'll have a burrito just to get but you don't snack while you're playing. I feel like
No, not really. I don't eat a lot of snacks.
Yeah.
I like Gardettos, but like I don't have those too often. And then I used to drink a ton of caffeine, but not anymore. A lot of rock stars.
Yeah.
Had to cut that out though.
Cut it out.
Cut
That is
out.
all our listener questions.
out.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
feel like we've been inundated by 2 listener questions. All right. What are we playing next week? I think I'm going to be playing CounterStrike. Definitely Cyberpunk as well.
I want to play Counter-Strike with you, dude, but I have good news. Rianne has ordered by Fiat that we will start our Baldur's Gate playthrough early.
Oh
2
my
weeks early.
God.
2
Yes.
weeks
Sponsored-
early.
I sponsored.
Do you want
half
to
of
double
it. Why
date
haven't
this?
you started already?
Do you want me and Leslie to join you so we can be witnesses and hold you accountable? I'm just kidding.
No, well,
What
I
is
I
going
haven't,
on?
it's time. We have to carve
time
out
of
the
the year.
time, and
Oh yeah, and you played the slowest.
It's
4X
time
game
for
in
Baldur's
memory.
Gate.
Dune Spice Wars is not slow. It is I can't think of a positive. Yeah, positive word for slow. Put it in. Counter-Strike with hopefully all you guys. And on the weekend, on the 20th, we're all getting a little spooky, right? Phasmophobia. We're getting frightful.
We're spooping it up.
Phasmophobia on the 20th. Yep.
I'll play Counter-Strike Deathmatch right after
Gonna
this.
Emilio and I are probably never gonna leave the intro trailer. Probably going to be too scared to go to the front door, right, Emilio?
Yep.
Or do you think you'll make it to the door?
If I'm in VR, I'll just walk into walls for sure. Nick, what are you playing?
Counter-Strike and more VR shit.
Bobby.
Something scary. I mean, we're going to play Phasmophobia, maybe something else, but I don't know. I'm going to try to stick with the Halloween theme.
And speaking for Christian, Bobby, Amanda, and myself, Phasma Titties. Bye, everybody.
Bum, bum, bum.
We just need a shorter outro.
I was working on it, but I didn't want to replace Jen's because it's so good.
It is really good.